Wow, we had a major storm yesterday. I was seriously worried that the corrugated iron on the roof of the barn here was going to get ripped off because we've removed all the fastenings on the other side of the barn, so we can obviously get that roof on. And yesterday I was inside the barn getting something, and I could hear the whole roof rattling, banging like this, and also all these corrugated iron sheets that we've taken off so far started flying around the garden. It was crazy. So Dave, my husband, and I, we ran out and we were trying to grab these sheets of corrugated iron and getting blown all over the place ourselves, and then having to put planks of wood on top of them. And oh my gosh, it was a complete nightmare. And I was seriously worried that this bit of the roof here, which we've just done because it's overlapping the old roof there, and that obviously isn't secured down, that seam there. I was worried that was going to get damaged, but it didn't. And it was also lashing down with rain as well. Absolutely horrible. So yeah, fun and games yesterday. Obviously we weren't doing any work on the roof yesterday. However, today it is a beautiful day, beautiful and sunny. So we're going to crack on with the roof today. Now we still have this section here, as you can see. This whole section here will be full of solar panels, and what we actually need to do is reinforce the roof with some timber. Now the timber hasn't turned up; it's been delayed. We're going to go down to the timber yard later on and find out when it's actually going to be here, hopefully this week. So what we're actually going to do, Jude and I, we're going to crack on with the other side of the roof today. We've just put up the scaffolding on the roadside, so we can't have two towers next to each other because it's quite a narrow road. So we've just put the scaffolding up, and we're just about to go up onto the roof and start stripping off the old corrugated iron, and hopefully we can get a similar amount done as we've done here on the other side in the next couple of days. So in the next 2 days it's going to be amazing weather. Now I know a few of you were asking about safety issues and so forth. I have actually ordered a full safety harness system with retractable cord and everything. To be honest, more for when I'm doing the solar panels, but that's arriving tomorrow. So so I will be safe. Right, so let's get on with stripping off the old roof on the other side of the barn. So this is the road next to our house, and you can see here it's quite narrow, but it's not too narrow. We can still get the scaffolding tower up without completely blocking the road. So the system that we've put together for getting the panels up actually works remarkably well. So what we actually do is, as you can see, the normal scaffolding tower, cars can kind of like get past. When we have to get a panel up onto the roof, we wheel out this half-height scaffolding tower, which is actually the top half of this tower. So what I actually did was I bought another set of wheels. So the tower consists of four separate sections, so it's a very, very tall tower. But I've kind of figured it would be quite good just to have two smaller towers. So we set up this half-height tower, and then we then lift the panel and rest it on top of the tower. You can see Jude here lifting up the panel there, and there we go. I had to cut the fence away. There was a barbed wire fence there. We don't keep animals on this land anymore, so we don't need a fence. So we cut the barbed wire fence away, and then so I was able then to help to push up the panel onto the scaffolding tower. And then once we've got it leaning against the tower, and obviously at this point we are blocking the entire road, but then we were able then to pull the panel up onto the roof, and this works remarkably well. Now, we did at the beginning of the day attempt to do this without the lower tower, and we did manage to get the panel up, but my goodness, it was difficult. It took us ages, and it was very, very hard. We almost couldn't do it, so we realized very quickly that we were going to have to use the two tower system that we used on the other side of the roof, and it was the only way we were going to do it. And to be honest, in the entire day that we were doing this, I think only 3 vehicles came along. We had 1 tractor come down the road, and we had 2 cars Only one of those cars we blocked the road for, and that was as we were wheeling the tower in place. So we just wheeled it back, and then the car went past, and then it was fine. So we don't get a lot of traffic on this road. Maybe at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day there's a few vehicles and the occasional tractor that might go up or down, so it's not really a problem, to be honest. But yeah, so we get the panel up there. I then climb to the top. This is the system we have. And then I basically, once I've sorted myself out and got myself up there, we then push it up into place, and it's actually it all works very, very well. I have to hold it in place while Jude screws it in at the top. He puts a couple of screws in at the top, and then that takes the strain. And then it's a very simple job of just screwing everything together. Right, well it's 3 o'clock and we're already on sheet number 6. So I think we're actually speeding up. Jude was saying that he reckons we're doing about 1 sheet per hour. The first sheet we put on was the hardest because we're working the opposite way round, and we had to reset the tower up and everything else, and we had to do a little bit of work on the purlins at the end because they were rotten, so we had to put some new oak on the ends there. I didn't film that because it was a little bit too difficult. But yeah, so we're going pretty well. Hopefully we'll get at least, I think we'll probably get 1 more sheet on today. Yeah, so we're going to carry on, and we're about halfway through screwing this sheet on. And then I'm hoping that maybe this week we'll get this side of the roof complete. Wow, that was a super tiring day. Time to relax, I think, this evening. We managed to get a total of 7 panels installed on the roof today, which is fantastic. However, the rest of the week now is scheduled for rain and drizzle, which I am not looking forward to. And to be honest, it's really hard to film when it's raining. I think we're probably going to carry on with the roofing. It's not heavy rain, it's just very, very light misty rain. So kind of foggy, misty, kind of wet conditions. Yeah, so I'm not going to film that because it's just way too hard to film and be safe at the same time. Now I do have a safety harness, so don't worry, that has arrived in the mail today, my safety harness and retractable cable line thing. It's a bit like a seat belt, so it's a long cable which attaches to a wheel, and if you jerk it like a seat belt, it then locks in place. So I'm going to try and work out how to use that. To be honest, I've mostly got that for when I'm actually installing the panels, because I'm actually going to have to be right up on the ridge of the roof when I connect the panels, so that's why I've invested in a full safety harness and safety line system for that. Now next week we do have some really good weather scheduled. We've got some nice sun and no rain, which is fantastic. So that's going to be the perfect weather window that we need to remove the rest of the corrugated iron on the other side of the roof, and then reinforce the roof with some timber, and then we can put the rest of the roofing panels on and then install the solar panels. So I'm hoping we can get most of that done next week. Now somebody was asking me a question in the comments. Thanks for your questions, by the way. Really inspires me reading your comments. Thank you very much for all of your comments. I've been trying to reply to them, but yeah, somebody did ask, and a few people have asked, why don't I have a ground mount array rather than putting them on the roof? Because we do have many acres of land here. We don't have cows or anything like that on the land. So the main reason is because if we did put a ground mount system in, we would have to dig up the ground, lay concrete foundations. The racking system costs several thousand euros. I've looked into it. And then we would have to dig like a trunking, like an underground trench all the way down the hill into the house, and it would just be really complicated. And at the end of the day, you know, we've got this massive south-facing barn, which is at a really steep angle. So the angle is optimal for winter. You know, we don't need to worry about angles for summer because, you know, the solar panel angles in the summer, because we're going to be over paneling and we're going to have too much power anyway. So the angle of that roof, it's a very steep pitch, which means it's ideal for winter. So everything about that roof is perfect for mounting solar panels to, and we've got plenty of room to expand if we ever needed to expand the system. So that's why we're putting them on the barn. And plus, you know, we've got the skill to do it. I've got the scaffolding tower. We wanted to replace the roof on the barn anyway because it was so ugly, all of that corrugated iron. So that's kind of like why we're doing it on the barn. And it's not that far from the plant room. It all kind of made sense. So, you know, that's why we've decided to put the panels on the roof of the barn. But maybe it will be a mistake, you know, who knows? But this is what it's all about. So it would be really great if you could like and subscribe so that you can get updates, excuse me, so that you can get updates on the system build. You know, this system isn't just about the solar panels. We're going to be installing wind turbines as well. We've got an electric tractor coming, and all sorts of things are happening on the channel. So if you actually subscribe to the channel, you will get updates when those projects start and the results of those projects, so that it can inspire you and help you if you're thinking about installing your own system. So yeah, it would be a great help if you could like and subscribe. Helps me out as well, doesn't cost anything. And also keep those comments coming. They really help me when you comment, because it makes me realize it's worth my while making these videos if I get a bit of feedback. And I also love replying to your comments as well. That's something I've just started doing. So look guys, I'm going to leave it there. I probably won't be making any more videos this week, but next week we will be getting the camera out again and filming the end of the roof installation and the solar panel installation when the weather's a bit better. So have a great week, and I'll catch you next time.